Chapter 1. The offer that changed everything. She didn't even flinch. When the lights in my apartment flickered, the place was used to giving up on itself. One bulb, one working fan, no food in the fridge, no heat, just me. A cheap couch, and a mountain of bills pretending they weren't choking me. Then came the knock. Not loud, not rushed, just polite. I opened the door with a sigh. If this is about rent, it's not, the man in the black suit said, stepping inside like he owned the air. I'm here about the drive. I froze. What drive? He smiled. Thin, measured, the kind that made your stomach twist even if your mouth didn't. You know which one, he said calmly, placing a briefcase on my kitchen counter. Hard shell, red stripe, encrypted files. You accessed at last. Friday night. I tried. He tilted his head. You're not under arrest. You're under opportunity. I should have kicked him out. I should have demanded a warrant. But instead, I asked, how did you find me? We never lost you. I stared at the briefcase. He popped it open like a magician, revealing a trick, neat stacks of crisp bills. So clean, they didn't look real. 50 million, he said, all legal. All yours. Just hand over the drive. I laughed. Loud, cracked, stupid. This some kind of joke? No. It's insurance. You sell that data to the media. We lose billions. You hand it to me. You get peace. And if I say, no, his smile vanished. You won't. I wanted to punch him, or at least pretend I was brave enough. But instead, I said, why me? You're nobody. He said simply, that's what makes you perfect. I felt that he slid a card across the counter. Blank, except for a black number on it. You call this when you're ready, he said. You have 48 hours. And just like that, he was gone. I didn't sleep. I didn't eat. I just stared at the drive. I had stolen it out of pure spite, just some petty revenge on the tech company that laid me off. I didn't even know what was inside until I cracked one of the folders. Names, logs, video files, payments, kids in factories, old men dying near oil fields, and someone I knew, Jonah's dad. I closed the folder and locked the drive in a show box. Now I couldn't stop thinking about it. I called Elena at midnight. Hey, she said, sleepy. You okay? I just wanted to hear your voice. She giggled. Weirdo. Elena, I whispered. You happy? What do you think? We're good people. She was quiet. Then she said, I think we try. That counts. I almost cried. But I didn't. The next morning, I held the drive in one hand and the black card in the other. You'll buy her college, I whispered. You'll pay Marie's mortgage. You'll fix it all. I convinced myself it wasn't evil, if the end was good. I called the number. It rang once. Ready? Said the voice. I swallowed. Yeah. They picked it up that night. Black car. Tinted windows. No faces. The guy didn't even check the drive before handing me the briefcase, as if he knew I'd already broken. I counted it 3 times. 50 million. Clean. I was shaking. Elena called. I didn't answer. Marie texted. Dinner Sunday? I'll make stew. I stared at the message. I should have felt relief. Instead, all I felt was heat in my chest, like something was burning through me from the inside. I looked at the money. Then I looked at my hands, and I whispered, what the hell did I just do? Chapter 2. Rich but rotten money changes everything. The bank teller looked at me like I was royalty. Would you like private banking, sir? I wasn't sir 2 weeks ago. Now I was invisible in a different way. No one questioned me. No one stopped me. Not when I paid off Marie's mortgage in full. Not when I walked into Elena's school and dropped a donation check so big they named a bench after me. They clapped. I smiled. But inside, I felt like a ghost trapped in a golden mirror. Where did you get all this? Marie asked me one morning. She was holding the kitchen tablet, eyes on the account numbers I forgot to hide. I made some deals, I said. Her brow creased. What kind of deals? Business? contracts, nothing illegal. She didn't press. She just nodded slowly, like she wanted to believe me. I don't want you getting hurt, she said. No amount of money's worth that. I know. I was lying. She knew it. I knew it. Elena came back from class humming. Guess what? She grinned. My whole semester got paid off. Like, anonymously. I played dumb. Wow. That's lucky. She pointed at me. Was it you? I laughed. You think I'm rich or something? Maybe. She smirked. You're acting different. More confident, I said. Is that bad? She tilted her head. Not bad. Just weird. That word stuck to me like sweat. Weird. Jonah knocked 3 days later. I hadn't seen him since high school. He looked the same except older. Thinner. Eyes sharp. Hey, man, he said. You got a second? I didn't move. How'd you get this address? Does it matter? Yeah, it does. I asked around. I glanced behind him. No car. Just him and that damn notepad he used to carry since 10th grade journalism. Look, he said, voice dropping. I know about the hard drive. I froze. He raised his hands. I'm not here to judge, but I think you don't know what they're using you for. I don't know what you're talking about, I said flatly. He stepped closer. Those files weren't just ugly, they were evidence. Massive. The people in charge. They're covering up entire chains of abuse. And whoever had the drive before you, gone, disappeared. I looked away. I'm not here to ruin you, Jonah said. But people are dying, man. This isn't just corporate crap. It's blood money. I slammed the door in his face, and I stood there, chest heaving, hands still on the knob. He didn't knock again. Later that night, I opened my phone. Private messages. Encrypted. All from one sender. Langdon secure. Greater than delete. All duplicates. No backups. Confirm. We know about Jonah. Do not engage again. Reminder. Our protection ends if loyalty breaks. My hands trembled. I turned off the phone. I stared at the screen until it burned black into my eyes. The next morning, Elena was watching the news. Hey, she said. Remember Mr. Hart from our neighborhood? Yeah. The guy who used to coach Little League. She nodded, eyes locked on the screen. He got arrested. Fraud charges. Big ones. What? She turned to me. They're saying he was involved in some offshore trade scam. But I remember him. He used to bring leftover food to the shelters. He wasn't rich. I swallowed hard. Maybe he made a mistake. I offered weakly. Elena frowned. It doesn't feel right. It wasn't. I knew why he got arrested. He was on that drive. That night, I couldn't sleep. Not because I was afraid of being caught, but because I wasn't. I laid in bed, staring at the ceiling, wondering if this is what rot felt like. Slow, invisible, but certain. The next morning, I found Marie at the kitchen table, coffee in one hand, photo in the other. It was a picture of all three of us, me, Elena, and her back when I got into college. I miss this version of you, she said softly. What do you mean? You used to be proud of your hands, she said. Now you hide them in your pockets. I stared at my palms. They looked clean, but they weren't. Later that week, Jonah's name came up again on the news. Local investigative journalist hospitalized in what appears to be a hit and run. I sat on the couch, breath shallow, break, failure. The anchor said, under investigation. I stared at the screen. I didn't cry, but I didn't breathe for a long time. Chapter 3. Elena's eyes. He never expected to see betrayal in Elena's eyes. It was subtle at first. A hesitation when I spoke, a pause before she smiled. Like I was a stranger walking through a house I once owned. One evening, I found her sitting, alone on the porch steps, staring into the dark. Hey, I said quietly. She didn't look at me. I'm sorry, I said. About what? Her voice was barely above a whisper. Everything. I hesitated. For taking the money. For lying. For not telling you. She finally looked at me. Her eyes were wide and hurt. You don't get to say sorry. Not after what you did. I swallowed hard. The words hit me like a fist. You think I wanted this? I asked. She shook her head slowly. You changed. Maybe I did. She stood up, brushing past me. Where are you going? To think, she said. I watched her walk away and felt a weight I hadn't known before. Guilt, shame, loss. Marie was quieter now, not angry, just distant. One morning, she said, I'm working doubles this week. Don't expect me much. I nodded. Later, I overheard her on the phone. I don't know if I can keep doing this. She whispered. I wanted to reach out, to say something, but I stayed silent. Then came the news. Whistleblowers were being arrested. I saw the headlines. Names I recognized. Faces from the neighborhood. And Mr. Hart, the man who once gave me ice cream when I was a kid. Now behind bars. I called Ellen immediately. Her voice was shaky. Do you think it's true? She asked. That people are getting locked up because of me? Because of you? Because of that drive? I closed my eyes. Yes, she cried softly. I don't want to lose you. I'm already lost. I said. The night Elena didn't come home, I waited by the window until the streetlights flickered off. My phone buzzed. A message from her. Anytime. I didn't reply. Murray came home late, exhausted. She looked at me with tired eyes. You're breaking us. I didn't want this. She shook her head. We're breaking because you lied. I sat alone in the dark, clutching the drive, wondering how I let it get this far. How I let them down. How I lost Elena's trust. I didn't sleep. I didn't eat. I just waited for something to break. And it did. Chapter 4. Blood on the money. Jonah's name was on the news again. Break failure, they said. Under investigation. But I knew better. Someone didn't want him talking. I sat in my apartment, phone buzzing nonstop. Encrypted messages from Langdon's people. Greater than stay silent. Greater than watch your back. Loyalty is life. My hands shook. I didn't know how much longer I could keep this up. Then came the letter. An official-looking envelope slipped under my door. Inside, a single sheet. Your stepsister's scholarship revoked. Anonymous complaint, effective immediately. I dropped it. Elena's dreams crushed by a shadow I helped cast. I wanted to scream. Instead, I called her. No answer. Hours later, the doorbell rang. Langdon's assistant stood there, cold as ice. No more games, she said. You're getting dangerous. I tried to close the door. She blocked it. I suggest you cooperate, or you'll lose everything. Why are you doing this to us? She smiled, a slow, cruel curve. Because you're expendable. Detective Rivas showed up a day later. I'm not here to arrest you, he said. But you're in deep. I'm trying to fix it, I said. Fixing isn't enough. You need to decide whose side you're on. I looked away. That night, I stared at my reflection. The man looking back was a stranger. I wanted to disappear, but I couldn't, not yet. I called Jonah's hospital room. Are you okay? His voice was weak. They tried to stop me. We have to keep fighting, I said. I'm scared. So am I. Elena finally answered. I can't do this anymore, she whispered. Neither can I. I'm sorry. Me too. The weight of everything crushed me. I realized that money wasn't freedom. It was a cage, and I was locked inside. Chapter 5. The confession only couldn't hold it in any longer. One night, I found Elena sitting on the porch steps again. Her eyes were red. I sat beside her. I need to tell you something, I said. She didn't look at me. I took the money. I whispered. She turned sharply. Why? Because I was desperate. Because I thought it would fix everything. She shook her head. You sold us out. I didn't want to hurt you. But you did. She stood up. I can't forgive you. She walked inside and slammed the door. I sat there, heart pounding. Marie came home later. I waited. She didn't say a word at first. Finally, she looked at me. Was it worth it? I wanted to lie, but I couldn't. No. She sighed. We all pay a price. The night I held the evidence Rivas gave me. This could take him down, I whispered. But taking it meant risking everything. Are you ready? I asked myself. The next morning, Elena didn't speak to me. I tried. She avoided my calls. Her silence was louder than any words. Marie was distant, cold. I didn't recognize the family I once knew. I felt alone, betrayed by myself. I decided to fight back for them, for me. But the road ahead was dark, and I wasn't sure I could walk it. Chapter 6. Playing with fire handed the drive over to Detective Rivas' immunity. I said. He looked me in the eyes. You'll regret this. I didn't care. The next 48 hours felt like a nightmare. Headlines screamed my name. Langdon's empire started to crumble. I stayed inside. Windows shut tight. Every shadow felt like a threat. Then, late one night, footsteps outside. A shadow at my window. My heart raced. I grabbed my phone. Rivas's number. He picked up immediately. You're not safe, he said. Thanks for the warning. The next day, I found my door slightly open, nothing taken. But the message was clear. Someone wanted me scared. Elena didn't come home. Murray called once. Be careful, she said. I felt hunted, trapped, but free. Rivas drove me to a safe house. No heroes here, he said. But you did the right thing. I wanted to believe him, but the fear never left. I thought about Jonah, about Elena, about Marie. I had started a war, and I didn't know how it would end. Chapter 7. Langdon's arrest was on every screen. I sat alone. Numb. Elena texted. I saw no words after the no heart emoji. Just silence. Jonah woke up. He called me. We made a dent, he said weakly. But you? I shrugged. Anonymous source, he said. I didn't correct him. Marie called. I raised you better, she said softly. It stung worse than any insult. The world called me a hero. I didn't feel like one. I gave away the money. Olive. It didn't feel like justice. It felt like breathing again. Elena visited. We talked about cartoons. Not about us. Marie called once a week. She still called me kid. That helped. At night, I dream of Langdon. His voice whispers, 50 million. I wake up shaking. I betrayed my values once. I paid the price. So did they. Maybe that's the real punishment. Living with who I was and who I refused to be again. Chapter 8. The price I paid. No, I work at a shelter. I make coffee. I clean floors. Sometimes. Elena visits. We don't talk about what happened. We talk about the weather, about old cartoons. It's enough. Marie calls once a week. She still calls me kid. That helps. Sometimes I wonder if I'll ever be free from that night. The night I said yes. I dream of Langdon's voice. 50 million. Cold and sharp. It haunts me. I wonder if Elena will ever forgive me, or Marie, or Jonah. But maybe forgiveness isn't what I need. Maybe I just need to live with it. I betrayed my values. I sold my soul. And now I pay the price every day. But I'm still here, still breathing, still trying. Maybe that's enough.